Okay, we're going to be reading from Life Pack 708, the science section, and we're going to be taking a look at the human anatomy, part 1. Okay, there are 3 sections in this book, which is the human building blocks, human framework, human nervous system. I had pretty much went over approximately half of the book, but I'm willing to go back over it quickly again, and we're going to take a look at the functions. Okay, the human body is made up of very tiny particles called cells. These cells are so small that they can be seen only with a microscope. All cell structure is similar, and all cells carry on certain life functions. Cells work together to form tissues, organs, and life systems. Okay, so right now we're taking a look at the cell and the cell membrane. The cell membrane is outside of the cell and it's called the cell membrane. The membrane is like an envelope with 2 layers. It is the door to the cell. The cell membrane is flexible, but strong enough to hold the cell together. So inside the cell structure, we have the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Cell functions. Okay, the main function of the cell is to maintain life. Okay, and okay, scientists know that all living things are made up of cells. They also know that all life activities are done by cells. These scientific ideas are part of the cell theory. A theory is a set of ideas that help explain something. Okay? So, the cell functions, the cell membrane functions as absorption and excretion. Okay? It has tiny holes that allow things to pass in and out of the cell. Absorption means to take in. Excretion means to send out. Okay? The nucleus of a cell is made up of very complicated protein. A protein is a substance containing nitrogen and other chemicals. DNA and RNA are 2 important acids found in the nucleus of a cell. Now we're going into part 2, the human framework. The major function of the skeleton is to serve as a series of levers for the muscles. Words that you should know: contract, external, insulator, internal, lever, surplus. Skeletal system. The human skeletal system contains 206 bones. The bones provide service for your body beyond protection. Your bone acts like a warehouse, storing minerals that your body needs. Some of the most important minerals are calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sodium. The warehouse of your body also has an important manufacturing division, the bone marrow. The bone marrow is the center of the bone. It produces red, excuse me, it produces red and white blood cells. The blood cells are part of the circulatory system. The human skeleton. You have the cranium, the clavicle, the sternum, the lumbar vertebrae, metacarpals, phalanges, patella, metatarsus, phalanges, tarsuses, fibula, tibular, carpals, femur, vertebrae, humerus, scapula, clavicle vertebrae. Joints. A joint is a connection between two or more bones. The fatty tissue is like an oil manufacturer for your skin and hair. Sometimes, though, fatty glands work overtime and produce an oil surplus. Too much oil is produced. Pores of the skin can become clogged. Terms: organ, skull, involuntary muscle, tendon, bone marrow, voluntary muscle, cytoplasm, epidermis, bone, cartilage, joint. Part 3. The human nervous system. The nervous system of the body is like a complex messenger service. The nerve cell in your body acts as a messenger to your brain. Your brain reads the message and sends out the command in two parts or parts. Central nervous system. When you see a ball coming, the nerves in your eyes receive a stimulus. The completion of the messenger service between the nerve and the brain is called the stimulus response. Nerves. A nerve cell or neuron has long branches that connect with thousands of other nerve cells. These branches are called axons and dendrites. Axons carry neutron messages or impulses away from the cell body. Dendrites receive impulses from the neighboring nerve cell and send them to the body cell. Spinal cord. The first 3 inches of the spinal cord is called the brainstem. The brainstem lies within the brain, inside the skull. The rest of the spinal cord runs down the body through the protective covering backbone. Here, your eyes may be your most important sensory organs, but think how lonely a world of silence would be. Your ear is actually a miniature marvel. Your ear is responsible for hearing everything you hear, yet it takes up an extremely small amount of space. Inner ear, eardrum, outer ear, auditory, middle ear, amplify. Smell. Your nose is the organ of smell. The nose is divided into 3 parts. One part is on your left side and one part is on your right side. The part of pleasure in eating something comes from smelling food before you eat. Your senses of smell also protects you from eating spoiled or bad something food. In the roof of the nasal cavity, or space behind the nose, is a piece of tissue about the size of a postage stamp. This tissue has special cells and 6 to 8 tiny hairs. These cells and sensory hairs pick up scents and odors and transfer the smell impulses to the brain. No one knows, though, for sure how the brain recognizes these different odors. Touch. When these impulses reach the brain interprets them as pain. Okay, so here we go. After skimming this book, we're going to just go over some vocabulary words here. Neurons, excretion, tissue, skeleton, joint, stomach muscle, epidermis, cell, cartilage, acne, outer ear, axon, and pulse. So, there you are. Life Pack Gold, Science 708.